It's another day back over at the house again. This time, got my other helper with me, Roxy Bear, and we're gonna get some more work done today. After you. What do you think, Bear? This is the first time that she's been over here to see the operation. What do you think? Yeah, it's exciting, huh? Oh boy. What do you think of the work? What do you think of the painting? Checking out your mom's office. A little bit of snooping. See what she does. You don't see any kitties over here. Of course, Rox had to do her investigation of the house, but now that she's done with that, I'll explain what the objectives are today. The first thing that I'm going to do is finish painting out here in the utility room. This had 2 coats put on it, and I think it could use one more. I can see a little bit of the blue coming through, just the tiniest bit, but it's definitely worth getting another coat on just to kind of even this all out. And the good news is that pretty much finishes up, at least the painting on the walls upstairs here. Everything else is done. I've got 2 coats on every room. This room just looks awesome. There's the master. And all the other rooms are done. I didn't film that like I mentioned in the last video just because I didn't think it was really that interesting to put a second coat on the walls, but I can at least show you real quick what they all look like. You kind of saw those when Rox was investigating in here. That it's all done, so I'm really happy with that. I love the semi-gloss on the walls. It gives it a little bit of a shine, which I think just looks great. And after I'm done with my final wall that I'm painting, the next step is going to be to start prepping all of the moldings. I took all the moldings off of the bottom of the walls here, and I'm gonna prime those, and then when I'm done priming them, I'm gonna start painting those white. So that's gonna be a whole operation, and I'm gonna go around and paint all of these as well. So this is all gonna be white instead of brown. So I have to take all this tape off, put the tape on the outside, and then paint over these. And then we're painting the ceilings as well. So I'm gonna be painting the bedrooms myself, and I'm gonna hire someone to do this just because of this area out here. So I've got a lot to do, and I'll share what I get done here with you today. It's only a little bit toasty in here, so I ended up opening the sliding glass door. Rox can look out. Got to do something to keep her busy while I'm out here painting. So let's start mixing up some paints. You getting a drink? You thirsty? I like these home improvement videos to be somewhat educational, so here's a little bit of a tip for you. If you want to reuse all of your rulers and your edgers and brushes every time that you come back to paint, what I have been doing is been using this Glad press and seal, and basically you just wrap that around there, and this keeps it nice and moist, so when you come back, I can reuse this roller. You don't have to replace this, because these things are expensive. They're not cheap. I have a bunch of extra ones here, but if you can reuse them, highly recommend it. This video brought to you by Glad Press and Seal. Sponsor me now. Got my painting equipment ready. I'm using the washing machine as my table, and I think this room will go very quickly. I already have 2 coats down, and the 3rd coat's just gonna be kind of a cover to make sure there's no blue showing through. So I'll show you what it looks like when it's done, which will be right now. It's about an hour later. I got all the walls done again. You probably can't even tell that I did anything, but I'm pretty satisfied with them. I think that's gonna be it. The only spot that I'm gonna think I might go over again is this corner back here, because I had to use nothing but the brush. And I might just go over it one more time just to be sure. Look at this out here. Somebody's sitting in front of the fan. Does that feel good? Yeah, it's hot in here. Huh, it's hot. Now that the walls are done, I have to move on to my second job of the day, which takes me to the basement. This is gonna be the least favorite thing that I do today. It's prepping these moldings. Now, just to give you the backstory on the moldings, I was originally planning to rent this house out, at which point we were gonna make all the walls neutral. So what I started doing was taping all these off, and we painted all the walls neutral. And then I came up with the crazy idea that we would live here. And the crazier idea that we would take all the carpeting out and put hardwood in. So what I ended up doing is having to take this out, because eventually the flooring is either gonna be a little bit lower because of the hardwoods as opposed to the carpet, and I need to paint behind these. So I took all these off, which leaves all of these nails that I have to remove. That's what I'm gonna be doing today. And then I have to remove all of this tape, which was to protect the paint from hitting these. And then I'm gonna prime these all. There's a whole ton of them. I have them everywhere divided into the rooms. I'm gonna prime them all so then I can paint them white, because the white's gonna look so much better than this brown wood. One nice thing about the basement is that it's about 10 degrees cooler than it is upstairs. So I was just laying here cooling down a little bit, and I was thinking about what I just talked to you about, where I made all these changes of plans halfway through this, and that has been very costly for us, both in time and money. I'd say just in painting supplies alone, I probably spent almost $1,000 at this point, because I originally bought these very white colors that I really didn't like. So I ended up taking those back, and then I got the Woodrow Wilson, which I liked, and we painted a lot of the rooms that color. And then when we decided that we were going to live here, we wanted the Papa color, which if you saw in the last video, you saw that. So we repainted those, and then with the flooring, I had to take all the stuff out that I've already prepped. It's been very time consuming, just in this basement alone, painting these walls and all this stuff. That probably took me a couple weeks, just because I was coming over here in the nights and weekends. So like by the time I get over here, it's already like 6 o'clock, and I was staying for like an hour and a half, and then I get home just in time to get Clark out of the bath and stuff like that. So I've spent so much time on this and so much money, but I can see some light at the end of the tunnel. I just got to get these moldings done and get the ceilings painted, and then it's up to everyone else from there. I got to have the carpeting guy come in to do the floor down here, which I'm not a big fan of this gray. So we're going to make this a nice tan and something a little bit fluffier and more luxurious, and then get the countertop guy in, and then put the hardwood floors in upstairs, and we're pretty much ready to move in. It's a lot of stuff left, but I can see us getting there, so that makes me happy. Well, somebody's telling me it's time to get back to work, so I will show you the secret to taking these nails out. The carpeting guy showed me this, and obviously he knows what he's doing. If you look at the one side of this, on this side, they put wood putty over these nails. They nailed it in from this side, so there's really no way to pull the nails back out from where they came, because you can't even see where they're at. So what he showed me to do, let's see if I can do this properly. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this one-handed, but he said just kind of twist these around like this here, and then you can pull them right out, which, yeah, I can't do it one-handed, I don't think, but that's how you get these out, and there are tons of them. And this is just a small section. I'd do those and those and those. This is going to keep me busy for a while. And those, and then those, and then those. It's just so much. And unfortunately, Rox doesn't seem to be helping me out at all today. She spent the whole day just kind of sleeping like a lazy bum. So I was hoping that I could get this all done and get it primed. That was my goal today. But I think I'm probably just going to end up putting a lot of time into taking nails out. Thank you. Thank you. I needed that. All right, I'm gonna take all these thousands of nails out, and we'll see where we're at after that, see what time it is. All right, now that I'm into a bit of a routine, I'm gonna show you my strategy that I found works. Basically, you take the pliers and you grip the nail like that. You twist it over to kind of create leverage, so you can see how that's on both sides. And then you just turn it up like that, and it comes out just like that. Super easy. You can see I'm making pretty quick progress of all the nails and stuff, so not too bad. Once you kind of learn the strategy, real easy. Good news, I got all those nails out. I put them all in a pile so you can see how many there were. Look at all that. Every one of those was a giant twist and a lot of trouble. I think I'm gonna have a nice blister on my finger like right there, but hey, that's okay. One thing I did notice about all these boards is a lot of these holes are actually visible. I think someone came back after my parents did carpeting, and they actually put new holes in and didn't do such a good job as the previous people. So a lot of these have holes in them. And this one you can see there, I mean, they're all over the place. So I'm thinking about getting some type of wood filler or something, which I don't have currently, so I'm gonna have to stop at the hardware store and fill those up before I actually put the final paint on. But I don't think that'll stop me from priming all of these. As you can see, I kind of have them all flipped over. Here's the giant pile of tape that came off. And I think I'm ready. I was going to paint out in the garage. I was gonna put them on sawhorses and stuff, but since I'm replacing the carpeting in here, why not get paint all over it? I don't think it'll really matter. And finally, somebody woke up. So let's go on to the next step, priming. I don't think I have a whole lot of primer left, but I do have like almost 1 gallon. I think, let me see, that's empty. This one is almost full. I painted 1 wall with this. This is Kills 2 latex primer. This stuff should work pretty good as long as it adheres to that wood. And then also at Lowe's, as you can see, I have a lot of supplies. This is that $1,000 I talked to you about. It's not just paint, which here's some of the original colors that I chose. I still have, and these ones aren't even open. So there's like $70 worth of paint right there I haven't even touched yet. In here, these are like $8 a piece, and you can imagine how much tape I used. Every single corner of this house has this tape in it. At $8 for 66 yards, it gets a little expensive, but what I wanted to show you here, I bought some really nice brushes. I got one for primer. This is like a $10 paintbrush, so that's like 3 inches wide, and I'm gonna use that for primer. I'm just gonna go straight across the boards like that. And then I bought a second one. And this will be for the actual paint. So I'm gonna keep these wrapped up, and they should serve me well, but there's 20 bucks right there. So that's how fast things start adding up when you start going to Lowe's, and I have a whole house full of stuff. So yeah, I got all the pieces of molding laid out real nice. I wiped them all down with a wet rag to get any kind of dust or anything off. And now I guess at this point, I'm just hopeful that this primer adheres to these. If it doesn't, if I can just scrape it off or it just kind of peels off, that means these are all going to need sanded. Otherwise, this is going to go pretty well, because I'm just going to take this brush that I bought, dunk it in there, and go whoosh down every one of them. So I should make pretty quick work of this. I just have to wait for a few of them to dry before I start. It seems like it's going to work. I have to kind of wait for it to dry to see what happens, but I'm making my way around the room here. One thing I did want to show you. Look at this. Look, I bring you over here to help me out, and all you do is snap the whole time. Oh, she's your old girl. Boy, good help's hard to find, I'll tell you that. Now this is just hilarious. Here's my paintbrush. You see this? It's reflecting in the sun. This dog has a mental illness where she has to chase these things. And look what else I did. In getting that shot, which I thought was funny, I got a little bit of dog art on the moldings. That's awesome. You got white paint on your feet now. It's official. I am done priming this molding. Turned out pretty nice. Look at all of that stuff that I had to paint. That took me quite a while to do, but I'm happy to have it done. And it seems to have worked. If you go to one of my first boards that I did, if I put my finger across that, it looks like it adhered. So all I have to do now is put my official white paint on there. That should cover it up really nice. I mean, it already looks pretty good. If you look at it from afar, looks nice, but I mean, when you get up real close, you can see that there's a lot of brush strokes and lines. And this primer doesn't do a great job at covering it. But yeah, I'm on a good run here. Another nice thing, hardly used any primer, still got almost a full gallon. So now I'm gonna put my paintbrushes away, and we are out of here. This is always my favorite thing to do. You ready to go home? Come on, let's go home and have dinner. Let's go home. That's it for us today. Thanks for watching. We will see you in the next home improvement video.